Once you've built up a large workbook with multiple worksheets, you then might think that it'd be quite difficult to change those worksheets at the same time. Well, actually, it isn't. If you've created a large workbook, as we have here in Sales Data 2014, where we have 12 tabs, one for each month of the year, and each of them are effectively exactly the same layout, they just have different sets of data, then this is a very good candidate for coming along to make multiple worksheet changes. The first step is to be able to multiple select worksheets. Now we can do that in a couple of ways. We can select one worksheet at the tabs at the bottom, then hold down the Control key on the keyboard, and then click and let go each other tab that you wish to add to the selection. So that is a multiple selection of January all the way through to October. The sheet that I'm currently looking at goes sort of green and the rest are black bold. So you can tell which actual sheet you're looking at, but any changes you now make will happen to all 10 of those sheets. To deselect, we either click a sheet that is not within the group, so I could click on November, or you right click any of the selected ones and choose ungroup the sheets, and effectively ungroups. So that's the Control key and the mouse and click on the sheet tabs. Alternatively, we click on the first sheet that we would like to select, bring the last sheet into view, so that's December, and then do a shift and click. And you see it then selects everything between the first sheet, which was Jan, and the last sheet, which was December. And again, to deselect them all, right click, ungroup the sheets. So taking our Sales Data 2014, let's select all of our sheets. So let's click on the first, shift click the last, and I then want to add another column. So let's go to select column D, right click, insert. That gets me a new column. Into there I can type submarine sold, and notice how it's brought the formatting over. Whenever you insert a new column, as we've seen previously, it will copy the formatting from the column that you're effectively inserting to the left of. I could then put some numbers in for my submarines. And then here I need the formula. So I actually need that formula copied across. And I've entered 56, 43, 23, 45, which add up to 167 in my submarines. Now I'm actually currently doing that in January. But you will notice that whichever sheet I now click on, they all have that new column, they all have the same text and the same numbers. What I do need to check is that the total includes our new column. So it's going B3 to E3, so it will now include the submarine, so that's fine. And then if I check each month separately, I can then change the individual submarine values. So for March, we might have a good sale there, and June, we might have gone very well there in submarines. And then in September, they all dipped a little, which makes each month just slightly different on the submarine sales. So the multiple selection allows me to insert columns, and I can insert rows, and I can add formulas. Just be very careful that any changes you make when you have multiple sheets selected is not going to actually overwrite anything in one of the sheets. Here we're fine because each of these sheets exactly mimics each other sheet. So if I insert a column, it will quite happily go into the same place on all of them. But that is not always the case. Now, other things you can do with your sheets selected. Let's take the first three. Click January, shift click March. I can actually change the tab color for all three of those in one go. So they're now all red. April, May, June, right click, tab color. Let's go green. So I can change the tab color while we multiple select. I can insert rows and columns. I can format. I can add data. And finally, with a multiple selection of sheets, I can copy multiple sheets at a time. So let's just move to the end and let's take the last 4 months of the year. Click on December and then shift click September. Gives me 4 sheets selected. I then click December because that's the sheet that I started with. Hold down the Control key. Move to the right a little so that little black triangle is just to the right of your selection. Let go of the mouse first. And we end up with 4 new sheets. So the ability to control things by multiple selecting sheets really gives you some power. It allows you to insert columns, insert rows, insert data, add formulas, and even copy more than one sheet at a time.